We're going to talk about the elbow today. The reason I show you different angles is because there's not one certain way to do the elbow. Let's start off by learning how to do it. When you're here in your fighter stance, do you remember how to throw a hook? Do you remember how to throw an uppercut? Well, as you can see, it's the same kind of motion going into the elbow. That's really it. When you're here wanting to throw an elbow that's horizontal, you want to be here with your chin tucked still. You want to be tight. You want to be tight, not out here extending this way, tight. Keep in mind when we're talking about throwing the elbow, it is a bony part of the body. It is going to do more damage than maybe the fist, okay? It's a tighter swing. There's going to be a tighter momentum to it. So just be careful when practicing. If you're going to be sparring with other partners and learning how to do the elbow, practice 10% at the max. You don't want to do more than that. Anything more can hurt. Just know your limits, communicate with your partner, and know your boundaries. To start off here with the elbow, not sure if you remember how to throw the hook. If you know how to throw the uppercut, I have videos on it. It's the same kind of motions. You still want to have your chin tucked, be in your fighter stance, and be ready to come up as if you were coming with an uppercut, okay? You're only going to cock down a little bit with an uppercut, same thing with an elbow. You might just dip it down a tiny bit to come up. So if I'm here throwing some combinations, boom, I bring someone's head down and I have the chance to throw an elbow that's similar to an uppercut, I'm here. I'm here and I'm still rotating on the ball of my feet as I do this. You cannot forget that step. That's where the power is going to come from. Everything that you have to throw into that elbow will come from your whole body rotating. When you throw the hook, like I've mentioned about in other videos, you can't throw it from different angles, right? I'm here, here, it's more of an uppercut, but here, I'm diving down. If you imagine keeping it flat like a tabletop when you're throwing that hook, it'll allow you to throw that elbow more horizontally without it flailing around, without it being like a plane without an engine somewhere, right? Just swerving around through the air. So if you imagine going to a horizontal line, keeping it flat, you can then throw this elbow and keep it flat as well. And notice that my hand is really just going more to the inside of my body. I'm curling it up when I'm throwing this hook. It's going directly to me. So then I'm extending those muscles. I'm extending the lat muscles and meeting you with the ball of the hook. With the ball of the elbow. So, horizontal. Now if I go up like an uppercut, here it is. Still rotating on the ball of my feet, okay? Rotating. I'm rotating. Once you feel comfortable throwing an elbow that's going to be straight as you throw it, it's not going to flail around. When you come up, it's going straight up. And you're maybe not hitting yourself, you're not punching yourself, because that can happen too, right? You're throwing this elbow and you feel like you're getting it consistent now. It's the consistent movement that you want. When you get to that point, that's when you can start practicing different angles. All right, that's when you can start practicing coming up with your elbow, and I'm driving down, up and down. Up and down. It's a bit of a rotation with your shoulder joint. But if you're here, it's a good warm up. Move it around if you need to. If you hear some popping, practice it. Practice different angles. You can come to this side. You can come over here. It can be with your lead arm. Practice a jab with an elbow. Jab, jab, hook, elbow. All right, switch it off. If you're going to throw a hook with the right hand, throw the elbow with the left. and maybe approach your opponent that way too. All right? It's more intimidation when your opponent is coming at you rather than if they're walking away from you, right? If you have no other choice than to fight. I'd appreciate it if you learned something to like this video. I'm going to show you what happens if you throw a jab and you happen to miss, what to do from there and how to get to an elbow. So if I'm throwing this jab, boom, I'm throwing a consistent jab, but I miss here. And I feel awkward now. I'm exposed on this side. This side of my body is exposed to getting hit, to getting kneed, to getting kicked. You can turn around and come with an elbow with this arm right here. Watch what happens. So I'm here training. I happen to miss. So how do you do that? When you miss, you want to close your feet just a tiny bit. This is when you get a narrow stance just for a tiny second. And I'm here to then rotate. I'm rotating my hips. You need to rotate those hips. Open up your hips to be able to rotate. And come with the elbow. I opened up my hips. See how I did that right away as I stepped in and I missed? I'm here. Rotating the elbow. And you want to be tight still. You don't want to necessarily be throwing that elbow way out here and trying to hit your opponent because you're compromising your posture. So when you're here, keep it tight. Come back and protect yourself. I'm facing the opponent right here as I'm hitting. I'm facing them, coming back, pushing off with my arm to put myself in a fighter stance. Say you and your opponent are going super quick back and forth at one another, punching and blocking, returning those hits, combinations. All right? And you can't really see anymore. Everything's so quick and there's a lot of movement. They just kicked your face. And you go for a jab and they just decked you right here. You can't see where they're at anymore. That's all right, because you feel with your arms still. Before you go back to open up your hips, come back with this elbow, you know where they're at. So if I close my eyes, I know the bag is right here. I'm gonna open up my hips, come back with my elbow, stay tight. It's one of those moves you can do with your eyes closed once you know where the opponent's at. Use your arm to bring them to you. All right, if you're here, shoot, you missed, but maybe you can rotate your wrist to grab their shoulder, grab the back of their head, bring it to your elbow. Again, if you're practicing this with someone else, you want to be going super slow, like Matrix kind of slow. Just going, all right, super slow, slower than that. Practicing, making sure that the person you're practicing with has a guard up when you're throwing that elbow. And you're not getting crazy with it. You're not going to fall. You make sure that your footwork is sturdy. Come in. One of the best ways to practice, of course, is shadow boxing. Having something there to hit or imagining it. So I have this string, bah, bah. I'm working my combos, bah. I missed, boom. I'm gonna focus more, get it there. It was a straight up and down, a perfect kind of uppercut, kind of a hit when I did this. Because I'm practicing with the string, one of the best tools in the world to practice with. It makes you super accurate. Here. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Much love. Stay safe with these movements out there. Okay, these are a little bit more serious than the other ones I've been teaching you all. Be considerate of your own body. Be considerate of others. Stay tuned for more.